Hey everyone, it's Kathy from To Dye House. Today is Friday, August 17th, and I'm back for my 4th episode. I first want to start by just thanking everyone who has subscribed and watched my videos and commented and liked. And if you're new here, welcome. You'll find a little bit of everything here, and if you've been here before, you'll see some junk in the trunk. Another full disclosure, not out of my trunk, but kind of came out of the attic. So, junk in the attic. But yeah, I want to just say thank you to everyone. You've all been so kind and supportive, and I love reading your comments and interacting with you via YouTube and Flosstube, and I'm just having a blast with it. So welcome back if you've subscribed, and if you're new, welcome in. I want to start with a few people that are in your neighborhood. These are the people in your neighborhood. The first one is Lost in Floss. They are new to Flosstube, and it is Barb and Leanne. And I think they're in Wisconsin or Minnesota. Somewhere up there. They are a riot, and you know, I love watching the duos. I wish I had somebody here who I could film with, but you know, I'm out in the country on my own out here. So, but yeah, Barb and Leanne, they're a riot. They have they did a little tribute to Pam and Steph, which was kind of funny, and yeah, they just we have similar tastes, a lot of stitching. I love just how they kind of play off each other, and they've been friends for a long time, I think since high school. So yeah, so give them a watch. The second is Julie's Stitching Corner. Julie is also new to Flosstube, and she's in the UK. She's got a soft-spoken way about her, but it's just really, really pleasant to watch and quite calming. She's working on a Black Cat monthly series, and it's quite adorable. Then she also did a scrappy pincushion, which I thought was really, really cute. So go give Julie a peek. The third one is Hanging by a Thread. That's Gina, and she lives in Indiana. Also new to Flosstube. She's working on, I think it's The Princess and the Pea piece. It's a Haid piece, a Heaven and Earth Designs piece, and it's epic. I mean, I think she's been working on it for a long time, but it's quite something to see. I'm not someone who's ever taken on a Heaven and Earth design. They're a little too intimidating for me. So, so yeah, but it's a beautiful piece. And so go check her out, and that's Gina, Hanging by a Thread. And I'll link all of these below. Someone else who is new to me is, the channel name is May Contain Dog Hair, which I thought was really, really cute, because a lot of things around here contain cat hair and dog hair, and you know, it's just part of the fabric around this place. But that's Connie, and Connie lives in the San Diego area, and I think she's a pretty new stitcher. Speaking of cat hair, somebody's. Get off the counter, Orion, please. He's awake today. There's been no peace. Usually he's like sleeping for the afternoon by now, but back to Connie. Connie lives in San Diego, which I'm totally jealous of, because it's like the perfect climate all year. But she's also got some kits that she's done, and yeah, she's just a really nice person and a lot of fun to watch. So I'm looking forward to her next couple of videos as well. And then Silver State Stitcher, that is Jessica. And she lives in Nevada. She was a quilter, and she needed, I guess, a hobby or a craft to do that didn't take up so much space, and also living in a warm weather. He's in the sink. Warm weather climate. I'm gonna have to go clean that sink now. She lives in a warm weather climate, and I guess quilting is kind of obviously not conducive to that. So yeah, so that's Jessica, and that's Silver State Stitcher. She has some really cute pieces too, and she is working on the Lizzie Kate Less Equals More series, and I love those. Those are really, really sweet series. So I'm looking forward to seeing her progress on that. This is a really, I had no idea, but Kanicki's she's designer extraordinaire, you know. Anybody who likes primitive type of pieces knows Kanicki's. She has started a Flosstube channel, which is so fantastic. And, you know, she was filming like in this nook corner, I guess, of her house. But, you know, I was coveting all of the primitive things behind her. This little metal piece that had steam coming out. Oh, it was great. And she kind of goes into some of her thought processes behind her designs and her fabrics. She showed this, you know, box of like primitive fabrics that I was like, oh, let me just dive into that. So yeah, so that's Nikki. Her name is Nikki. Her channel name is Kanicki's, and she used to have an Etsy shop, but she left Etsy and she went and she started her own website. So if you had been previously purchasing from her via Etsy, go in and check out her website. Check out her video, and her website is linked below on her video. And then finally, you know, somebody I've neglected to mention in my first 3 videos, but I watch a lot, and I just see her everywhere interacting with just everyone, and that's Bendy Stitchy, Michelle Garrett. She is the Obi-Wan of kindness and generosity. And, you know, she's one of those people that you're like, thank God there are people like this in the world. You know, they really make our lives so much more fulfilled. And she, you know, she does a lot of stash and loads and things for charity. She's just, like I said, she's just her kindness and generosity toward others are really an example for us all. So I just wanted to give her a shout out because her videos and her presence means so much to me. Okay, so junk in the trunk. Again, not coming out of my trunk because I didn't do any thrifting. But I'm going to insert some photos here. These are, okay, backstory. My boyfriend, before he bought this house, lived in a house that was built by his great-grandparents in 1839, I think. Maybe it was a little later. Maybe it was like 1890. Either way, the house was like over 100 years old. At some point, when they initially built it, it was just like 4 rooms, 2 on the top, 2 on the bottom. And then at some point they added like a little extension out the back that had a kitchen on the first floor, and then above it was the bathroom. So that must have been around the time that everybody was upgrading their homes to include indoor plumbing and things like that. The kitchen cabinets were part of the original kitchen extension that they put onto the house. So maybe 1930-ish, maybe earlier. But then they remodeled the kitchen at some point, took those cabinets out, put them in the basement for storage, and I think they were using them as like workbenches and stuff. And then put new cabinetry in the kitchen. But when I first started dating him, and I went down into that basement, I was like, these cabinets, oh my God, these cabinets. So when he was going to leave them at the house, because he was like, they're just in rough shape, the paint's chipped, he's like, it's probably lead paint, you know, he was like, I said, no, take the cabinets. I need we'll use the cabinets either in the garage for storage, or I'd like to have them in my craft room. And we could put wood across the top, and I have a cutting table. So he brought them, and I just started cleaning them up. And let me tell you, when he said they were in rough shape, that was an understatement. I needed to use Brillo to get them even semi-clean. And I think I need to go back and do another pass. Some of the wood had gotten wet, so it's warped and a little rotted. So we're taking that off. It's like the plywood in the backing part. So that can come off easily. We bought new plywood to put on the back. And I initially didn't want to paint them. I wanted to leave sort of that chippy look. But I'm going to have to sand them down and paint them. So I bought some chalk paint. We bought little wooden feet to put on the bottom so that we can elevate the height a little bit, so that it's, you know, a good height for me for cutting and working. And then the third cabinet was it was tall and it's wide. It was a pantry that they used for canning, I guess. I'm pretty sure. So that we're not sure how we can get into the craft room. Because me and my spatial relationships, and he's always teasing me about this. Because I'm like, I don't care if it's 10 feet wide and the room is only 5 feet wide, we'll make it work somehow. And that comes from watching too many DIY shows that I'm like, make it work in 30 minutes or less. But he had a piece of board or something and he was like, well, let's try it and see if it works. And I'm like, yeah, but you can tilt it on an angle. And he was like, it's not going to fit through the door at this angle. Like, there's not enough room to maneuver it. I haven't given up yet. I feel like I love that pantry. And it would be great for storage in my craft room. And I don't want something boring in there. I would love to take part of his old house and integrate it into this house. But if it doesn't fit, it doesn't fit. I'll have to find another option. He keeps telling me file cabinets, and I'm like, I don't want metal filing cabinets. I'm going to have to make it pretty, and we'll figure something out. But I haven't given up on that pantry yet. Not yet. So I'll insert some pictures here of the cabinets that we are able to get into the room, and a little bit of the cleaning process. Like I said, I think they need more work. Okay, some goings on, just a few updates. My last video, I said that I was going to pick up my pieces at the fair, and we've had a lot of rain here. And I saw, the pickup date was not this past Sunday, the Sunday before. But then on Saturday morning, I was browsing Facebook and having a cup of coffee, and I saw that the fairgrounds posted that they were not having the fair that day because the place had flooded. And it's in a low-lying area, and I panicked because I'm like, my pieces are in that building, and I'm trying to like zoom in on the photos to see if it was the home and garden building, and are my pieces okay? I panicked. And then they posted shortly after that vendors and people who had entered things could come on Saturday instead of having to wait till Sunday. So I said to my boyfriend, I'm like, we're going to get my stuff because I'm really worried about it. So we went down. The flooding had kind of like skirted the building. It didn't go into the building, which was fine. And honestly, it receded very quickly. It's just that the ground is so saturated here from all the rain. The problem they were really having was mud, not near where the exhibits were, but in other areas of the fairgrounds. And they had people parking like in the farm fields and stuff around. So obviously that was too muddy and they couldn't get, safely parked cars there. So they called it a day. And I felt bad because it was a Saturday. It's a very high revenue day for the fairgrounds. It was a shame. And then the hot air balloons couldn't lift off. It was really a bummer for them. And, but anyway, when we got there, it was like total chaos, people pulling trailers and, everybody moving their stuff out. And we went over to the home and garden building and picked up my things. So You're gonna laugh. So here are my ribbons. My this was for the Dilly Dally, my first place ribbon, my little Warren County Farmers Fair ribbon. And this was for Earth Gatherers. And when I picked it up, I said, you know, I thought there was a trophy with it, and the trophy was like laying down across the Earth Gatherers piece. And I said, maybe it's not mine. Maybe the trophy belongs to somebody else, and I don't want to abscond with somebody else's trophy if it's not mine. And then the lady came over, and I said, you know, is this my trophy, or does this belong to somebody else? And my boyfriend starts laughing because he's like, all week you've been thinking you had a trophy. Now you don't. And I'm like, she's like, oh no, it's yours. Look at the tag. Best of show. I was like, what? So she said, yeah, you know, that trophy is yours. Now, when I had looked at it, it was sitting behind the piece when it was on display. It was sitting behind the piece. So the plate of what the trophy was for was hidden. And I didn't pick it up and look at it at the time. I was just kind of, I think I was just so in the moment that it didn't even occur to me. But yeah, so it was for Best in Show for handwork. I thought it was a first place trophy. It was Best in Show for handwork. I freaked out. I was like, oh my God. So I said to my boyfriend, I'm Best in Show. How do you like that? And he was like, you're going to be impossible to live with. So, of course, I had to live up to that challenge, right? And so Trophy has been making appearances throughout, you know, the last couple of weeks in obvious places. And I'll insert some pictures here. So yeah, so you know, I'm just every once in a while I just take it out of my craft room and I put it in an obvious place in the car seat. I strapped it in. So silly. You know, on his side of the bed. Like it just every once in a while it just shows up and he's like, "Oh, you're never going to let me forget it." And I was like, "Well, you told me that I was going to be impossible to live with." So it's kind of overstaying its welcome now. It's kind of wearing off a little bit, but for the first week or so, it was kind of fun to do that. The other day, he was brushing his teeth, and I went like this in the bath. And when he looked up the mirror, he was like, "Ah!" So, it just made me laugh. But he's like, I'm like, okay, enough is enough. It's gonna stay in its permanent home in the craft room, at least for now. You never know when it's gonna show up. The other thing is, tomorrow there's a meetup, sort of the people who went to the New Jersey retreat in May at Needleworkers Delight in Metuchen, New Jersey. And I received an email from another attendee asking me if I was going. And so, yeah, I'm going to head down there tomorrow and stitch for the day, which is going to be fun. I stopped there. It's closer to where I work. So when I go into the office, sometimes I will go there after work if they're open. But this will be nice. I usually just go in there, you know, scream in, pick up a couple things, and then I'm out. But this will be nice to be able to spend time with those same people that we spent time with back in May. And rumor has it that Diana Zaslow of Dee's Delights fame is going to be there. So I'm hoping to meet her and connect with her. And yeah, it's going to be fun. You know, it's a nice day getaway. The other thing is that I'm registered and going to StitchCon. And I'm really excited about it. When I was young, I traveled with the company I worked for. I traveled to Cincinnati, Ohio, for a while, well, for about a month. I was doing meetings there, and Yeah, I'm looking forward to going back to that area. I'm not sure if I'm going to fly out or drive. There's part of me that kind of thinks a road trip would be fun, you know, maybe do some stops along the way. So yeah, I'm going. And then the other thing I wanted to mention was Rochelle at the Cottage Needle. I just wanted to kind of give her a, you know, a shout out, if you will. The Cottage Needle is an Etsy shop, and Rochelle is the owner of that Etsy shop. And I have been collecting the Summer House Stitchworks Fragments in Time 2018 series, and I placed an order right around the same time I ordered something else. And the other thing was like on back order, it was delayed. And she, I think, sent me the two most recent in the series. I could not for the life of me find them. I didn't even really have a recollection of receiving them, and I usually log everything into an Excel spreadsheet, and I hadn't logged it. So I wasn't sure, and I reached out to her and I said, could you just tell me when you sent these? Because it says on the receipt that they were shipped previously, and I can't find them. And she just sent me 2 new ones. And I said, well, you know, in the event that I misplaced them, and that's entirely possible, you know, send me an invoice. She was like, nope, I'm not sure that I did, and I can't tell you when. So I just, you know, I thought that was really, really nice of her. And I've always had excellent service from her shop. And I know Cheryl McKinney over at Tranquil Stitches has very nice things to say about her as well. So she's just one of those shops where, you know, she takes care of the people who buy from her. And I just, you know, I really want to give those people the recognition that they deserve. Yeah, so I wanted to mention Rochelle. I keep calling her Rachel. And then I finally emailed her and I said, is it Rachel or Rochelle? She was like, it's Rochelle. So yeah. Okay, FOs. This is something that I've been showing you. It's the Old Red Barn from Little House Needleworks. And last video I had mentioned that I was taking that sort of, it was like an oatmeal color out, and I put in a brighter white, and then I sewed the pumpkin buttons on. And I got my little sheep button, and I put a little straw in the barn underneath the sheep there. So this had the pattern had a border on it and everything. I did not stitch that, but yeah, I as soon as I got the sheep button, and I ordered a couple of the smaller pumpkin buttons as well to put on there. Yeah, so now I think I'm going to finish this into a flat fold type of thing, or maybe put it on a board and put a magnet on it and put it on one of my pieces of junk from my trunk for fall. And I ran out this morning to do some errands, and I was coming back up the mountain, and I noticed that the trees are starting to change, and there's one tree that's like almost entirely orange. I mean, obviously that tree is the exception at this point. It's still pretty green, but I was like, oh, you can see what the colors are going to be. The tints now are starting to come in. So yeah, I'm really excited about that. And then the other, it's not it's not an FO in its entirety yet, but it will be by the end of the day. I started a punch needle project. And you know how much I love pears. I picked this up, I think when I was at the New Jersey retreat. And it's my very first punch needle ever. I have to say I put it in, and it's called pears, obviously. The first time I tried it, you know, I was a little frustrated with it, but once you get the rhythm going, and it goes fast, and I had a really busy week with work, and I was just really focused on my computer a lot, and so when I would log off from work and I wanted to pick up some, you know, stitching and stuff. My eyes were really tired, and so this is the perfect thing to do if your eyes are too tired to stitch, and you know, but you still want to spend some time working on something. So I really enjoy it too. It goes by fast, and yeah, it's a lot of fun. It's a lot of fun. I'm really glad I picked up that hobby. The other thing is, and this is an FFO, and my last video I had just started this, but like I said I think in my first or second video, it's a quick stitch and it's a quick finish, and it's the bluebird's nest. And yeah, really cute. And I found this little, like, it's like looped and mini pom-poms. I found that trim. The pattern had a button in the middle, like a handle you could pull off. I couldn't find a button in my stash that I liked that fit well in there. And I also did this on a smaller count than was called for, so there wasn't as much room in the middle. So so I ended up using the trim around the side, and then I just did like a little loop, you know, pull-up loop. And then the backing fabric was just something I had in my stash. And yeah, so like started it, finished it, fully finished it. And, you know, here it is on the little bowl. Very scratchy today. But yeah. And then, and I'll show you in my haul section, they just released another lid for this. So I think that's great that you can just keep the bowl and change out the stitched lids, and then, you know, you'll always have something in season. And I just think it's so beautiful too. I really love it. Okay. So, whips. Oh, I just wanted to share this with you. This is when I went to the New Jersey retreat and we did a smalls exchange. You know, I've been keeping this in my craft room, and I keep it sort of like I haven't used it. To me, it's a display piece, but then I was looking at it and I'm like, you know, I should use it. I should keep this close by. And one of the ladies there made this. Isn't it beautiful? I mean, oh, the retreat for 2018. And then she included, look at those beautiful scissors. So pretty. And then like a little, you know, snag nabbit type of fixer thing, and some wonder clips and some pins on the top. And just look at her fabric choices, and then her stitched piece. Oh, I really love it. To this day, you know, I look at it when I go into my craft room and I just have that like, oh, feeling, right? Okay, whips. So, that pear thing will be finished today. But this is, my summer house, or my summer ABCs by Little House Needleworks. I didn't get very far on this. I got really into the punch needle, but I did start to get that quilt in. And I think I'm going to take this with me down to Needleworkers Delight and work on that tomorrow while we're all stitching together. So I'm doing that. But yeah, I just got that little quilt in, so I didn't make much progress there. And I did start Lila's Studio Halloween Quaker. And I'm using that Illusion fabric. It's a 40 count fabric, so I'm only doing 1/2. So I did get that started. But this is a piece I like to sit and spend time with. Do you have that too, where like there are pieces that, you know, you're like, on-the-go pieces, but they're pieces that when you're working on them, you want to give them sort of their due attention. I have some pieces like that. This is one of them. So those are my whips, my little little progress. Although, you know, this was a whip and I like stitched it, finished it, and fully finished it. So, so yeah. Okay. And then I have a little bit of haul. I actually got one of my unicorns today in the mail. I was surprised. The first thing I got, and I love this so much. Ugh, first of all, I love anything French, Paris. And I had ordered this bag from Needleworkers Notions last year with the balloons and the bike with the flowers and just screams France. And then the backing fabric, La Maison, Paris. So, and the beautiful little fob on the zipper. And I had ordered this, like I said, last year. And I use it, it's like my on-the-go accessories bag. So I have scissors in there and, you know, extra needles and magnets and all sorts of wonderful things going on there. So I have my little, my little pink polka dot sheath, my little, what is that? That's my bumblebee fob on there. So, you know, it's just like a little bag of happiness. So then my friend, Jen, who owns Needleworkers Notions, was talking about tote bags. And, you know, I'm kind of one of those people. I'm like, I have a bazillion tote bags. I don't need another tote bag. And then she sent me a photo of this. Look at the matching bag to my little accessory pack. And the handles, like the workmanship, the handles, she hand quilts it. And I was like, what do you mean you hand quilt that? She said that she doesn't like the free form quilting and that it looks more professional this way. But then, I mean, okay, so you're like, all right, well, yeah, it's cute fabric and it's, you know, a nice little tote bag. But there's more. The inside has pockets. I don't know if I'll be able to, there we go. So there's like 8 pockets going around the inside of different sizes. So you can put, you know, scissors in one or a pen in one or your glasses in one. And it's just so beautifully finished. And then this is, I emailed her and I'm like, what the heck is this for? So it's a sleeve and there's an acrylic piece in it. And I was like, is that a straight edge in case I need to cut something? Like, what is that? She's like, no, it's just the bottom of the bag. So this sticks down in the bottom of the bag and it really gives it like extra support in the bottom. So it's not just fabric on the bottom. And I love the size of it because it's not too large and it's not too small. I'm taking this with me tomorrow when I go down to Needleworkers Delight for our stitching day. But it's, you know, it's the perfect size. It holds my little accessory bag and then I can put, you know, a couple of, I could put my project of choice for the day in there. And it's just the perfect size. You don't want to be lugging heavy things with you, you know. I can throw my little hammerhead light in there. That's, you know, perfect. It's, and beautiful. You know, it's just beautiful. Yeah, I mean, this is, I think I'm going to always keep something in here and just, you know, if I'm going somewhere and I know I'm going to have some time, it's like I can just grab it and go and always have a project without having to, you know, I have another bag, a canvas bag that I use, but that bad boy is a monster and it's heavy. It's got lights in it and just, it's got a lot in it. And, you know, it's one of those bags I take with me if I'm doing an overnight type of retreat because I don't know what I'm going to work on and I need to keep several projects at hand. So that's what I use that bag for. But this bag is perfect for these day trips. And, I was thrilled when I got it and then it matched my little accessory. It was just the perfect world. The perfect world. Yeah, I thank you, Jen, because that bag is just, it's beautiful. The workmanship, it's just beautiful. Okay. Whew. Onward. This is the unicorn that arrived today. And I saw somebody else was recently received this too and was talking about it. It's Weatherwise. And Helen D, I think that's her channel name, was talking about this one. I believe it was Helen. And it's a prairie schooler. But I thought, look at that. It's just, oh, so, so beautiful. And even just the weather vane and that sun. Oh, so pretty. Even look at the small pieces. But this is Red Sky at Night, Sailor's Delight. Red Sky in the Morning, Sailor Take Warning. I remember my mom and my grandmother saying that. A couple of things that I picked up. My Biscornu interest is being piqued, but I got this little swallow Biscornu. I thought the colors were so pretty. And then I saw, I can't remember who it was. Jennifer Upton, maybe? This parrot Biscornu. Isn't that pretty? I have a friend who lives in Florida, and she has exotic birds, you know, parrots and cockatoos and things. So I might make that for her and just send her a little Christmas gift. And then the butterfly Biscornu. I thought that was really cute, nice and springy. I'm going to tell you the story about the butterfly fast. My mom, as you know, has passed away. My mom was a quilter. And she made me a quilted jacket. And we went together and picked out the fabric. And she was living in Kentucky at the time and was putting this together for me and as a gift. But I knew it was coming. And she said to me one day, called me up and she said, you know, that jacket needs some yellow in it. And it was like a blueberry fabric. So it was like blues and greens with a little touch of pink. And I said, no, I really kind of want, like, I'd like to have like a monochromatic jacket. And she kept saying to me, no, it needs yellow. And I'm like, it doesn't need yellow, Mom. You know, you have those conversations where, you know, Mom knows best. And finally she kind of acquiesced and said, fine, fine. So then I get the jacket for my birthday and I open it up in this beautiful blueberry fabric and different blues and greens. And then I flipped it over and there was just this little square in the corner of the bottom of the jacket that had an embroidered yellow butterfly on it. So I was like, she just had to put the yellow in there. And I'm so glad she did that because every time I see a yellow butterfly, I think of my mother. It's kind of like her just fluttering by to say, told you so. And I really liked the yellow butterflies in here. It just reminded me of my mother. So yeah, I almost feel like I need to do that. Toot sweet. And then the other one I picked up, and this looks really cute. I love hummingbirds. And so it's a hummingbird one. these were, oh, this is, you know, the heart and hand. This is their new release for this bowl. So I'm going to, it looks like it's a really fast stitch. It's not a big design at all. So I'm going to get this done so that I have a fall Halloween lid to go on my bowl. And then I got the last, or I don't know if it's the last in this series, but I have winter, spring, and summer. And then, so this is the bird in hand autumn, which is really cute. Look at the little ghosty on that bird. A little squirrel over there. So cute. And then I picked up new releases from Hands On Design. Wild Salt Air. I dream of the sea and the wild salt air. Kathy Haberman had done a video. I guess she went to the Jersey Shore, or maybe it was Maryland, and she was talking about like the umbrellas and the cabanas, and that's a lot of her inspiration for these types of pieces. And when I saw this, it's so funny how your mind works, because when I go to the beach, like there's a point that you hit where you can start to taste the salt in the air. And like I always look for that point so I know I'm getting close to the ocean. And so when I saw this, I got that salty taste in my, it happened again. My mouth is watering. Salt. And then Live Within Your Harvest. I think that drum is just too adorable. And then it came with the pins as well. And I know this is a series. I don't think I'm going to buy every one in this series, but I did like this one specifically, the Merry and Bright by Cottage Garden Samplings. Really cute. Give me a chickadee, holly, and berries. I'm ready to roll. And then Brenda Gervais with Thy Needle. The Autumn in Baltimore. So beautiful. Gosh, her work is stunning. I wish I had one of those minds that could think of something like this. I mean, I recognize it when I see it, but I don't think I have the kind of creativity where I could create something like that. And then this is something I picked up on Stash Unload. It's a blackbird. Rose Hips and Ivy, and it's a drum, and it came as a kit. It's really beautiful. This thing, you know, I'd been looking for this earlier in the year. I couldn't find it anywhere. And then I stumbled upon it, so I grabbed it because I saw, I think it was Priscilla, of Priscilla and Chelsea fame, do this. And that's what prompted me to want to get it. But then I couldn't find it. So, Welcome Spring. It was really, look at that sheep. Oh, so cute. And then this piece is Little House Needleworks. This, I connect to this because when I was in like 5th or 6th grade, it's weird how you remember things. We did a whole Civil War play where we all dressed up like colonial girls and boys, and we recited the Gettysburg Address, and we sang this song as part of that play, and it's the Battle Hymn of the Republic. And it's a beautiful design, but it has the lyrics to the battle hymn. And when I saw it, I was transported back to my youth, being in 5th grade, I think I was, reciting the Gettysburg Address. Yeah. Okay, and then these I got on Stash Unload. You know, I'm a drawn thread collector. Spring. Sorry about this glare. Trying to get my, here we go. Here we go. Winter. Summer. And autumn. So cute. And then this I picked up as well, you know, because it goes without saying, I love my coffee. The coffee bean sampler. The coffee bean is my birthstone. Actually, my birthstone is the coffee bean, it says. Heartstring samplery. So, so yeah. Let's see. Oh, and then one more thing I wanted to show you. Well, two more things. The first thing is going back to Rochelle at the Cottage Needle. Sorry about the crinkling. Ripping the Band-Aid. I ordered this. I saw Donna Ray. She did a video where she was at the shop picking out fabric for the 'Tis the Season SAL stitch along coming up, and she selected this fabric, and it's called Nantucket Brew. And after I saw it, I was like, well, I need to have it. But one thing I love about shops and the Cottage Needle, look, when she sends her things, look at the tissue paper. I think these are just, you know, it may seem so small, but to me that is such a special touch. That's like, I care about the merchandise I'm sending to you. I want you to enjoy it beyond just receiving it. And that's how it hits me. And then the other thing is, when I was in Hobby Lobby a long time ago, a few months ago, and I found, you know, they're doing that clearance thing, right? So 80 cents. Now, I thought the sampler on the front was very pretty, but I really bought it for this. The Pedigree of Honey, and there's some glitter. So let's see. Can you see it? Boy, the glare is bad today. I'll read it to you. And I love the sentiment. The pedigree of honey does not concern the bee. A clover any time to him is aristocracy. What a sweet sentiment. I was like 80 cents. Can't go wrong. Okay. Oh, and when I was in there, actually I got this in Michael's. My sister loves emojis. I showed you the emoji bag, and she's like, but I hate that poop emoji. Hate it. So, guess what she's getting for Christmas? She's getting a little poop emoji. Because it's my job as the older sister, one of the older sisters, to torture her in whatever way I can. Right? It's your job. You gotta do it. Okay. And then plans. I'm going to, I have this all kitted up and ready to go. The Blackbird Singing. I showed this once before, but I think I'm going to take this and a couple of these others with me tomorrow. The Autumn Spice. I purchased this one a while back, and it comes with the floss. The Classic Colorworks floss. And I think that's a Little House Needleworks design. I'm pretty sure it is. And then the, again, I purchased this a while back. Autumn Sampler. Isn't that cute? Very simple. And then this comes with silk. Yeah, it's pretty sure it's silk. So those are going with me down to Needleworkers Delight to work on tomorrow. And then this is, I know many of us are planning on participating in the Stitch Along. And so I'm waiting for the first. Waiting. For the 'Tis the Season. And I'm going to do the French saying at the bottom. Now, it's funny because when I bought this book a while back. I mean, I've had it for a while. So when I saw that stitch along, I was like, well, I have the book and I have the fabric, because I bought the fabric at the same time, because, you know, fabric manufacturers, fabric dyers will often discontinue things, and I didn't want to be without the fabric. So at the time, I did buy the pear fabric from the Cottage Needle. And again, when the fabric came, look, thistle tissue paper. That's what I mean. It's like, it's when people really care about the presentation of what they're sending to you. It's more than just buying something. At least it is to me. So yeah, so these are the fabrics and the flosses that I got. The Victorian Motto. I was lucky enough to get that floss. I just read that she dyed another lot, so they should be still available. And yeah, so I'll be starting that stitch along on the 1st, if I can hold off that long. And I'm like, I don't want to be the cheater, so sure, I have plenty to do in the meantime. But yeah, and now I have, this is so, the things that make you happy, right? So I have, you know, I made this super huge giant holly and ivy bag. And my Secret Santa was in this, and now that I finished that and it's out to Jill Rensel, waiting to be framed, I was like, my Christmas bag is empty. What am I going to do about my Christmas bag? So now my Christmas bag has something in it, and that makes me happy. And then I'm going to do, and I didn't bring it with me. I'm going to start the Hawk Run Hollow stitch along in October. Amy Loves Toads is doing that, and I know a couple of other people are working on that with her as well, or you know, or running that stitch along as well. But I can't off the top of my head recall who it is. So if you want that information, I'll definitely do some research and get back to you. But Amy Loves Toads is definitely part of that group. So yeah, but I think I'm going to do the Shores of Hawk Run Hollow for that stitch along. So yeah. Okay, and then ta-da! We have winners! I want to thank everyone who participated in the 300 subscriber event. I loved your comments and you know, what your magic numbers were and why, and it was just fun. I hope it was as fun for you as it was for me, because I had a blast with it. So the winner of It's Halloween is Mary Beth Kranz. I did the random number generator last night, and actually it was like at 12:05 a.m. because I needed to wait for it to close, and I couldn't wait to find out who won. So I was like, 12:05, I'm running the generator. So It's Halloween. This goes to Mary Beth Kranz. Be Bold and Brave, the Lizzie Kate design with the flosses. That goes to Mary Loudon. And then Halloween is in the Air. That goes to Betsy, Bird Stitcher, Colorado. So congratulations, everyone. I will go back and comment on your original comment where you entered, and I'll include my email in the information box below, so that you can reach out to me with your address information, and we'll get these out to you. And I hope you really enjoy stitching them. It was a lot of fun for me, so I can't wait to see how you stitch them and see pictures of your progress on them. So yeah, so thank you, everyone. Thank you. You know, I felt like I just want to give everyone something, and it was hard for me to pick winners. I was anxious to see who it was, but it was hard. Do other people run into that where you're like, or you're just kind of like, it is what it is, and I don't Okay, so that does it for me for today. I just really want to, again, thank you for spending your time with me. Time is such a precious commodity, so the fact that you spent it here, it means so much to me, and I really, really appreciate it. I'll see you in a couple of weeks, and I'll reach out to the 3 winners, and I hope you have a wonderful couple of weeks and get lots of stitching done, and fear not, autumn is on the way. Yay! Talk to you soon. Peace.